Nice of you to drop in.
Hello people, I'm the Comic Book Gamer, and today I'm going to be counting down my top 5 favorite boss fights from the Batman Arkham games. Now before I get into the video real quick, I want to give a quick shout out to Mr. Jag, because he gave me the codes so that way I could go back and play the boss fights and get gameplay for you guys, and also refresh my memory so that way I'm not just going off pure nostalgia and be like, oh, I remember this being cool. No, I actually got to replay them again and without having to go straight through the story again. So yeah, big shout out to him, thank you to him, and I'll have a link in the description to check out his channel. He does a bunch of mods, which you should definitely check out. Anyways, on to the video. Number 5 is Clayface. Now, the main reason I love this boss fight is the fact that it's Batman with a sword, and it's so cool, and it's got, obviously, 2 factors to it, well, 2 sections. You have the first section, which is your very typical Arkham boss fight, which is just dodge until the guy hits something and then start beating on him, and that's the way it was. It was a bit of a gimmicky boss fight, like a lot of the Arkham games. You just dodged him, tried to get him to hit those explosive barrels, throw the ice grenade at him, and then chop him up with a sword. But then, towards the end, which was really cool, the second part of it, where you would drop down to a second level and fight little Clayface minions, and then you would throw the freeze grenades at Clayface when he'd pop out, and I thought that was really cool, and it was so much fun to use the sword. I freaking loved using the sword. Who wouldn't want to be Batman using a sword? It was so cool, just chopping up the Clayface minions, and then you could hit the special attack, and Batman would do like a bunch of twirls with the sword and stuff, and it was really cool, and obviously it was a very climactic and huge battle for the story, because it's like, okay, what's going on with Joker? Talia's dead, holy crap, and now Clayface is here, and it turns out Clayface was Joker the whole time, just like mind blown and everything, and you gotta fight Clayface, and it was just a really cool, awesome boss fight. Number 4 is Deathstroke. Now, the boss fight itself is great, but I'm just judging these overall on everything, as in, like, the story, context, and stuff like that. So, as far as story went, like, this boss fight sucked in that sense, because it wasn't true to the comics at all. It was really crappily done, and I didn't care for Deathstroke's voice actor. He sounded way too angry, but the fight itself was a lot of fun. It was really repetitive, but it was a lot of fun. You got some really cool animations, and it felt so smooth when you would just start countering Deathstroke like that. That's what was really cool. It looked like 2 master fighters going at it when you would just time those counters perfectly and match Deathstroke for each strike. I thought that was really cool, and it was definitely an interesting boss fight because you were like actually fighting him. It didn't feel like you had to do some gimmick. It was just, okay, fight him. Like, it was definitely, like I was saying, repetitive. You had to do the same thing, but it wasn't a gimmick. It wasn't like, okay, wait for Deathstroke to do this move and then you hit him, or you throw this gadget at him. No, it was just, you would have to counter him and then you would have to hit back like you would do when you're normally fighting someone. It's just this time they're at an extremely highly skilled level, and that was really cool. I didn't care for the whole when Deathstroke would fly up in the air like a ballerina and then like twirl around and hit you with the claw, and the claw would like track a explosive barrel to you. I didn't care for that. I thought that was stupid. But besides that, and the repetitiveness and the story aspect, the core element of the fight was really cool. Just seeing 2 master fighters go at it, and I really did enjoy that. Again, it felt so smooth, and you felt like you were Batman when you were just countering and hitting back and stuff. It was really cool. Number 3 is the final Scarecrow boss battle. Now, obviously, Scarecrow is one of the best parts of Arkham Asylum. It really turned the gameplay on its head, because it's like, okay, I'm being Batman, I'm doing detective stuff, I'm tracking this, I'm fighting these guys, I'm doing Predator, and then all of a sudden, Scarecrow, you're just doing a 2D platformer, and like, you'll fight guys sometimes and stuff, and you gotta wait for Scarecrow to not spot you, because if he spots you, he's gonna give you a big high five and you're not gonna like it. And so yeah, like, it was really cool. I liked that, just going around and just like, okay, gotta wait, okay, now go before he turns back around. It made things intense. It had a really creepy, eerie feeling, which Arkham Asylum had throughout, but Scarecrow especially, it was like this really creepy feeling. It was done really well, and so yeah, I love that, and the story elements to it was great. When you come out of there, you are Batman coming from the grave for that final fight, and you see what Batman's truly afraid of. You see that, it says like, Bruce Wayne, here lies Bruce Wayne. It shows that Batman is afraid of dying, and then it shows all these different Batman that are just locked up and crazy in Arkham Asylum. It shows that Batman is afraid of losing control, of becoming crazy, of being locked up, he's afraid of being what he fights against. He hates that, because you saw from his fear, Joker had taken over the asylum and was running the asylum, and Batman was crazy. Especially the very opening of it, to where you're playing as Joker and Batman is just locked up, and he's like, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy, let me out. It's like, holy crap. This is intense, especially because when I first played it, I was like, did my PC just crash? What's going on? Because everything just freezes up, and then you're Joker, and it's insane. And Batman's just like, I'm not crazy, and then the boss fight itself happens. It's really cool, and it switches up from the 2D platformer to this little arena type area where you gotta fight all these skeletons, which is another thing showing that Batman is afraid of death. He does not want to die. That's why he's fighting skeletons. At least that's the way I interpreted it. And so he's fighting those guys, and he's gotta point the light at Scarecrow. And also you see, like, at the end, Scarecrow's like, you took enough to drive 10 men insane. You're crazy. Like, you're just as crazy as the rest of us. And it shows you Batman really is nuts. Like, he is complete bonkers, which I thought was a really, really cool idea and really well done. But yeah, I just love the Scarecrow levels. Mainly the last one. The last one was my favorite. I loved them all, but the last one was my favorite out of the Scarecrow boss fights. Number 2 is the first Bane boss fight in Batman Arkham Origins. Now, up until this point, Bane had been completely terrible in the Arkham series. Like, in Arkham Asylum, he was so stupid. Same with Arkham City, he was just this big, dumb idiot. He was basically the Batman and Robin Bane, and I hated that. But in Arkham Origins, he was the badass that we knew from the comics. He came in there, he took control, and you just had this feeling like, how the heck am I going to beat this guy? What do I do to beat this guy? And in the first boss fight, you can't even beat him, which was so awesome. And I didn't see that coming because, when I was fighting Deathstroke, it's like, okay, this guy's supposed to be a master assassin. It's Batman's first year, and I already beat him, which is obviously just stupid. But against Bane, you actually don't stand a chance. It's like, dang, this is really cool. And up until Arkham Knight, in my opinion, Arkham Origins had the best soundtrack of the series. I loved it. I believe the same guy who did the Under the Red Hood soundtrack did the Arkham Origins soundtrack. He killed it. It had a sort of Dark Knight vibe, well, Hans Zimmer vibe as far as the soundtrack went, and it was no different with the Bane boss fight. Like, the music added to the intenseness and the epicness of the fight, because you're just fighting this Bane guy, and it sort of reminded me of the Death of Superman comics, because in that storyline, Superman is pounding on Doomsday. He's sending him across the city. He's getting some good hits in, but at the end of the day, he's doing no damage. Like, none at all. He's like, I'm just releasing on this guy, doing nothing. That's the way it was with Bane in Batman. Batman is beating the crap out of Bane, at least it appears so. But then Bane just shrugs it off and just takes some more venom like it's nothing. It's like, what am I going to do to beat this guy? In the end, you have to stall until Commissioner Gordon gets there, because Batman is facing someone he can't beat, which is awesome. Like, who would have thought of that for a boss fight? Because generally, boss fight, you fight him, you win, and then something else happens. But in this, no, you lose. And I really like that. And yeah, again, it was just epic. In every sense of the word, it was epic. Bane's voice actor was great. It was also cool having Joker just narrate the fight. He's like, I like you, Bat. Actually, no, I really don't like you, Bats. You've been annoying this whole time and stuff. And it's really cool. Again, Bane's voice actor was great. His character design was fantastic. He looked badass. He sounded badass. He was badass. That's the way Bane was in Arkham Origins, and I loved it. And yeah, the boss fight was just really overall great. Number 1 is the Mr. Freeze boss fight in Batman Arkham City. Now, the majority of you guys watching this probably already knew that was going to be number 1, because it is pretty much unanimously known among the Arkham community as the best boss fight in all of the Arkham games, and for good reason too. It's amazing. It feels like an actual fight. It flows like an actual fight. You have Mr. Freeze just running around doing his thing, searching for Batman, trying to take him out in this small area where it's like, all predator combat, and you have to figure out all your resources and everything. Just like, okay, I did this, what else can I do for Mr. Freeze? Well, to take out Mr. Freeze, because you can't do the same thing twice, which takes away from the repetitiveness, and there's no gimmick to it. There's not like, hit him a million times with the REC gun and you'll get him, and then you gotta like punch him, you gotta wait for him to do this and do that. No, you actually just have to have a plan. Okay, ledge takedown, did that, now I gotta go and do a silent takedown. Okay, did that, now I gotta go and hit this thing with the REC gun, so it'll track him to that, beat him down. It's just really cool, especially the first time you play it, because the first time you play it, you're like, okay, what do I do? What do I have? I generally do the same thing over and over again. What do I do now? And especially with mods, which obviously you can't do on anything but PC, but with mods, when you're playing with someone like Nightwing, it's really intense, because you have to find out what your resources are, because you don't have every single gadget in the world like Batman. Like, playing with Nightwing was so much fun, because I was going around trying to take out Mr. Freeze. Like, okay, I have hardly anything I can do because I'm not Batman. I have my screaming sticks and a few other things. That's kind of it. But anyways, the boss fight is just amazing. It feels natural. It's cool. Everything about it is great. The voice acting throughout is fantastic, where Mr. Freeze is like, I will find you, I will save Nora, and all that. It's just great. And yeah, but those are my top 5 favorite boss fights in all of the Batman Arkham games. Please let me know in the comments below, what are your guys' top 5 Batman Arkham boss fights? I really want to know. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.
I wanna go like Lana Del Rey. I see her in my mind.